Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of The Four Idiots. And today, she needs no introduction. We have a special guest, Kelly in Vegas. Thank you for joining us today. We're just going to go over the final four. We got Hazmat Sue 23 here. As always, Degen for life. Miami sucks today, though. What's that about?
Little hostility after listening to the Hustle Pod.
I can tell.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a few minutes.
Oh boy! No, we just got done doing the Hustle Pod, and I brought up cheese. I didn't say anything bad.
Too much Miami love out there.
That's a good thing. And then you got my dumbass self. I should be sponsored by Kids Toys since they're in the back of our pods every now and then.
I say, what's that tripod thing?
I like looking at stars, so that is
okay.
for.
Last weekend we both had our kids on the show. Shay was with me, and you.
Okay, well, there cannot be kids on the show today. Did you guys not just see
mine's taking a nap.
Almost get fired? Like I cannot.
No, mine.
I will just leave the studio if I see a child. Okay.
No children. So yeah, we're gonna jump straight into the final four. First game here, San Diego State FAU. I'll start off with it. I've been on San Diego State every week or every round except for against Creighton. I thought that's where they're gonna meet their makers, so to speak. And I was playing golf, and it's like, okay, up 6, it kind of seemed like it was between 6 and 8 for the majority. Come fighting back, goes back up. And then once again, I'm at another 1-year-old birthday party, and I'm watching this game come to an end, and I'm like, holy shit, San Diego State's gonna do it. And I'm kind of excited. Like I almost went to San Diego State before I deferred, but I've always had an affinity for them. It's just kind of awesome to see them going this far. But what they bring defensively, and FAU's no slouch either. I think we can all agree on that. 2 solid defensive clubs. San Diego State, easily the best defense remaining out of the Final Four. And then I'd probably go with UConn, just right behind them. But what they bring with Arup, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, and Mensah. Those 2 presences on the inside are just phenomenal, and it's they don't even really attack from the inside. They just play all around great team defense, and it's fun to watch. And Kelly, I heard on your pod, offensively it's terrible to watch, but sometimes I don't know, those games are just fun. It's almost like watching a rainy game in the NFL. Just you got these 2 clubs just punching.
Listen, I'm all for great defense, right? We know that that's like my biggest mantra: take the better defense plus the points. Here you have to lay the points, back up to 2 over on the odds screen. But man, I'm kind of in this conundrum, right? I've got San Diego State. I was on them last game. I was on them the game before versus Alabama. They got a nice money line win for me on both of those. And now here they are going from, the hunted to the hunter. And FAU, man, I watched them in the first half versus Tennessee, and then we left, went back to the hotel, and then I watched them against K-State. That team doesn't quit. Golden is an absolute beast. They're going to beat San Diego State on the boards. We know that. San Diego State's got to have a little bit of an answer offensively, but I'm going to tell you this wholeheartedly. I think they get FAU out of their rhythm. This looks like a coin flip game. I'm kind of in a conundrum. Am I going to hedge a little bit? What am I going to do here? Because I do have them in a Calcutta for pretty sizable amounts. And, we talked about it on the Hustle podcast just a few minutes ago. Do I call my buddy who's got an FAU future and just say, hey, let's guarantee ourselves some money here? What's the right answer? I do think San Diego State is the right side. And so I may not hedge at all. But the line indicates that this looks like it's going to be a close knockout, drag out type game. I think ultimately the public's going to end up on the Owls. They really enjoyed this story, but 9 seeds in the Final Four have never won a game, and they don't even cover historically. So that I have a little bit of history on my side as well.
0-9.
Yeah.
0-9 when they make it to the Final Four. Yeah, I looked at this game, and for me, it's San Diego State or nothing. Had a little lean towards the under. We've seen what San Diego State defensively, what they do defensively. They just absolutely just shut down everybody. That perimeter defense, they stop teams from shooting the 3 ball, I think is what ultimately gets them the win here. In order for San Diego State to win this game, I think this game has to be played in the 50s. I really do. Yeah, high 50s. I can't see San Diego State winning a game here if this game goes over 60 points apiece. I can't. They don't score like FAU does. This has to be a defensive knockdown, drag out fucking game, like in order for them to win this, I think. But
can you imagine how many people are going to cry if this game is in the 50s? They're already complaining about that this is a Final Four matchup. They will lose their mind if this game is like 56-54 final.
That's what I see. I mean, that's ultimately how I see this game going. I really do. I mean, San Diego State has played
drought.
I mean, like Wisconsin. Yeah. San Diego State's played 12 or 13 in a row to the under. I mean, we've seen them lock teams down.
As I was going to say, do you want two more halves of Wisconsin, North Texas? I don't think anybody wants to see that. I'm with Kmart, though. This was San Diego State. And I don't think it's particularly close, to be honest. If you talk experience, right, FAU starting five goes junior, sophomore, freshman. San Diego State starting five goes junior, senior, right? Coaching, not even close. What Dusty May's done is great down there, but right, Brian Dutcher had those years under Steve Fisher with Michigan in the 5-5, the Fab Five. He's been in this stage in this building. I think it's a great story. The Fab Five is one of my favorite ESPN documentaries that they ever did. I'm really rooting for Dutcher, right, and just the whole Steve Fisher, sort of tree that comes from there. I think that at the end, this is an experience game, and I'm sorry, at the end of the day, it's FAU. It's the dude's first, Dusty May's first head coaching job, right, at Florida Atlantic. He never made the NCAA tournament before this. He was 0-2 in like the CIT and the CBI before this. Again, not knocking anything they did, but we get to the Final Four. We did it, early on in the pod. We said, what do we like as far as what do we want to see? I'm cool with one darling, but this is it. This is where it ends. It's San Diego State, and I'm going to take the cheese line, and I say this is one that I don't think it's close. I think this is a different San Diego State team that FAU is not going to be ready for.
What do you make it? Like,
is it good up to 10?
Half?
I'm not going to go double digits, but
I know Barstool's not in California, you guys, but when it is, one of these days, you guys will be the guys that have to move the stool as far as it goes to see how much plus money you can get.
Kelly talk shit about my alternate lines on the hustle.
I can't. It is funny, but I mean,
I gave out UConn. Up to minus 17.
Man, she was giving you props.
Yeah. Dude, I gave out UConn minus 17.5 last weekend, plus 900, and they beat Gonzaga. They beat Gonzaga by 30. Yeah,
they sure did. But what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
I can't recommend people doing that.
No, of course not. Of course not.
No, just pizza. Just pizza tip money,
Yeah,
I kind of agree with what everyone's saying, because I mean, San Diego State efficiency on offense 74. You got 24 FAU. Defensively, 4 for SDSU and 30 for FAU. But Bradley and Trammell, Kashad Johnson, they're streaky. They can all get hot. So I do agree with Joey. Like, I don't think it's going to be in the 50s. I do think low 60s, mid 60s, somewhere in there. But if it's in the 70s, they're probably not winning this game.
Yeah, but don't you think Bradley's got to get hot at some point in this tournament, Kmart?
He hasn't shown up yet.
He's been awful. He's been awful.
I'm just waiting for him to get hot.
He got hot at the end of the Bama game. He's what spearheaded that.
Good point. Okay,
they were down. Point. They were down 9
for an entire game.
Yeah,
we have not seen it
exactly. Yeah,
you haven't gotten 40 minutes out of him. That's for sure.
Yeah, but if he can play in the moment and not how he played in the first 30 minutes, they should win this game. As long as he isn't building a fucking barn. But yeah, I mean, I love SDSU here. I mean, I don't need to wait. Like, I played them at minus 1.5. Probably going to add on them before, because even at 2 right now, I saw money line still minus 130. Not a big fan of that, but still, Final Four. You never know what's going to happen in the final 4 minutes. Like, you have no idea with all these 1-and-1s that can happen. I mean, how many times have we been seeing kids just missing in the moment? So that's why I would take
many
money line
times.
personally.
I'm gonna be at Encore with CT Bets, and he just gave out San Diego State as his best bet. Obviously, we know Kelly's on it. I know you guys like it. I don't see how I don't end up on it. I mean, I think I almost have to at this point, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna all bet Miami money line.
I'm not gonna be like Trig and be like, oh, I'm gonna bet baseball on Saturday and just lie to everybody fucking watching.
Diamondbacks it is with Trig.
What about you, Duke? Don't you got an under you like in here?
Yeah, I'm gonna inevitably be on the under. Like, I mean, I don't care. I'm with Kelly. I don't give a shit. I would love that game. I mean, the total first half total is gonna be what, 60-61. That means they have to score in the 50s for me to win. It's gonna be an ugly first half, 28-29, something like that. They'll be in the 20s. I'll probably be on the under. Like Cheese said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. 12 in a row. San Diego, even that game against Bama that seemed like it was going to go high scoring, that snuck under. And so I'm going to see
especially in the first half, Chris. I mean, think about it. You're playing in a football stadium. NRG Stadium is big.
Yeah.
So the sight lines are going to be a little bit off. And I think that that's something to consider. Maybe not the full game under, but definitely the first half under looks very appealing.
All that extra room behind the baskets. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to look into these kids are traveling and they've never been here. Like, I mean, I know they're seniors, like Neil said, but that Final Four stage is a whole lot different than when you're there with all kinds of teams and you're playing your Furmans and whatnot. So like, this is the big stage, and a lot of times they come out a little shaky. They're a little nervous, missing, and then they pick it up second half. So good point. Yeah, I'll probably be first half unge.
First off, and real quick, you're all giving Trig way too much credit to say he's going to be better than MLB. There's KBO going.
Yeah.
Minus 500, we get a KBO play Saturday night from Trig.
For sure.
Better.
So
And I can't wait not to bet it or watch it.
Yes.
Baseball doesn't start till after the All-Star break.
Yeah, baseball starts in like September before when there's nothing else on like, Tuesday night. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch playoff baseball. That is about it.
True. How about Neil? Would you side first half under? You used to be my first half over god, but that seemed to have died this tournament.
First half did fine. I would agree with first half. And I think we saw statistics. I think teams this tournament for San Diego State are only shooting, I think, like 21% from three in the game. And like Kelly said, you have sight lines that are going to be completely off. And I don't know if they're going to do the whole like raised court thing, which they do at a lot of football stadiums where you have a raised court. But
dogs are barking.
But yeah,
and that's a great sign. I love that. The dogs are barking.
Here I am laying 125 on money line for SDSU. But
You're right.
Yeah,
That's not an omen.
I always just get nervous on the games that are like predetermined to be way under. 80 points last night, North Texas and Wisconsin first half.
Yeah, they flip-flopped the first and the second
They've
half.
completely flip-flopped.
Wisconsin scored 13 in the second half, dude.
Yeah. And
that's embarrassing.
Yeah, it was just
embarrassing. It's almost damn near impossible.
Yeah.
I might have been able to score 13 in the second half.
I think us five scored more than 13.
Us five versus North Texas, we could have made it happen.
Yeah. We scored more than 13, us five, for sure.
You give me all those shots
Texas
in the last
shot
9
well.
minutes,
It was
I'm
just
getting a free throw.
Yeah, it was crazy to watch. And then going to the line, missing two, just crazy to actually not get a point there. But yeah, we'll move to the second game. We want to keep this, under 30 minutes today. So second game, obviously UConn, Miami. UConn, easily the best team left. I think 3 of us here have UConn future tickets. We're hoping to cash, maybe 4. But, UConn just, as we mentioned, dismantled the Zags by 28. Best offensive efficiency. Miami, number 5. UConn 3. UConn's defense 11. And it's something I've been saying about Miami for a while. They just keep seeming to play the last 10 minutes like last year, when they had a phenomenal defense, but they're ranked 104 in defensive efficiency. So
how has nobody brought that up yet? That Miami is, I keep hearing, I've heard Kelly, I heard 2 other people in my other group chat, I heard Trig say it. UConn's played nobody. Iona's somebody. St. Mary's is fucking
First
good.
of all, I didn't say they played nobody. I said it was brought up on another show, and I wanted to debate it. And she made a really
absolutely.
good point
Oh.
in the fact that Iona came to play for a first half. St. Mary's came to play for a first half. And you guys got to play Arkansas off that KU money line winner.
For sure.
Arkansas dead in the water, came back, beats KU. Then Gonzaga, exact same thing. 1%
that
chance
UCLA
to beat
win.
UCLA. That's all I said. Just for some fun talking points. I never said you guys didn't play anyone.
Using your logic, then Miami's dead in the water because they were down 15 with 9 minutes left, and they came back just to beat a Texas team who's clearly better than them.
That's all I'm saying. I didn't say I was getting to the window with Miami. I lean Miami on that side. I think it's a lot of points. I think there's a lot of UConn love in the marketplace. But how's there not going to be a lot of Miami love? They've won and covered every single game here. Even against Drake, when the big man first came back, I thought they were dead in the water, and they were able to make those second half adjustments. I think this is more of a spot where maybe if you look at it, you look at Miami in the second half if they're down big, just because Larinaga has done a really good job with those second half adjustments.
Listen, I'm not being unrealistic. I'm not being unrealistic here. Like, I'm a realist. Those last 6 minutes from Miami were super impressive. I mean, they didn't even have to shoot the 3 ball. Me and CT Betts and Horse grinded that game out at CT's house. And it was like those last 6 minutes, Miami was impressive. But I mean, let's not forget, Miami is the worst defensive team that UConn has seen in March Madness. They've beaten 4 teams by 90 points. They dismantled Gonzaga. Arkansas never had a fucking shot. They lose that game by 25. St. Mary's gets beat down by 15 after being in that game. Iona loses by 25 when they had a halftime lead. Like, I really honestly forget my future ticket because everyone knows I have it. Mm-hmm. I really think UConn beats the absolute fucking brakes off of Miami. I really do.
There's a caveat there. If you guys don't beat yourselves by turning the ball over, because every single time
turnovers could kill us for sure.
That right there is my biggest concern. That was my biggest concern with K-State this year. When you beat yourself by turning the ball over and basically gifting other teams points, you got to pay attention with Miami. I understand their defense isn't anything to write home about, but that team can run, and they can run with anybody in the country.
They're quick. They're fast for sure. Nigel Pack and Wong are nasty.
Yeah, but that's what's been winning is guard play. That's all we've heard about all March long. Guard play.
You act like Joey California, Aline, and Newton haven't showed up to play, though. I mean, my biggest concern for Miami and Miami backers would be I don't know how Miami gets a rebound in this game. I don't. Miami has to shoot lights out to be in this game, I think. This isn't a game where Miami could come out and shoot 41, 42%, shoot 28% from 3 and be in this game. There's no second chance opportunities. This is a game where I think Sanogo and Klingman absolutely fucking kill O'Meara on this block. No, listen, I'm being dead serious. Like, no hatred. Like, it is what it is. We don't have to be on the same side. But I don't see how O'Meara does a goddamn thing in this game. Sanogo is going to eat his shit for lunch. Yeah. I'm being realistic here. Like, Miami has nobody to get rebounds. Miller isn't big enough. Wong and Pack don't come inside the 3-point line unless they're driving for those stupid little runners that they pull off, that they make. But Joey Calcaterra, Klingman, Jax Hawkins has been unbelievable. Caravan is lights out from 3. This UConn team has been shooting like 47% from 3 in the tournament. I mean, absolutely ringing teams up. I would be shocked if UConn doesn't win this game by 15. Shocked. Absolutely shocked.
Are you taking an alt line?
Between us, no, I'm not going to be giving out UConn minus 17.5 at plus 900. But
why? You just said they win by 12, or 15 or whatever it was. I mean,
find the bar stool.
If you're that confident, listen. I don't love Miami. Miami's been good to me, especially in the underdog role recently. That being said, if
Larinaga's
you
unbelievable.
really believe that, then you have to take the alternative line.
Yeah, I mean, I played quite a few of them this year when I've given them out. this Miami team is definitely special. I mean, they haven't lost a game by more than 7. I've heard that from so many people. My square ass group chat of buddies. It was the first thing they sent me the other day when UConn opened -5.5. They're like, Miami hasn't lost by more than 7 all season. Now they're getting 5.5. So like everyone's aware of it.
Not that it matters, but
the market hits 5. I think you're going to be shitting yourself.
I would hate that. Yeah,
What is-
I would hate that.
what is
Yeah.
what are the splits? Like
It's just moved to 6. It just moved to 6 though,
Move
Kelly.
to 6.
What's
In a
Yeah.
lot of
Where?
places. A lot of places.
Isn't it kind of 50? Is it kind of split action? It's not lopsided, is it?
It's not. It's not the K-State FAU game, but
Where it was like
definitely
85% at some books.
70-30.
I saw 60-61 on Wager Talk.
Okay.
So yeah, not too crazy. How about you, Neil? You
I think, Pinnacle. I think Penny's at -6. I think, Kel. One of my locals is at -6. One of my locals is at
Well,
-6.
you're in the Northeast. That's what people don't understand. Don't
Right.
use your local splits. They book to take the action that they need. Everybody, and I had to say this the other night. And this has nothing to do with what Joey just said, but I had to say this the other night on social media when the guy's arguing with me. I'm like, you don't understand how futures markets work. Each book is going to book futures markets differently. Thus, they're going to have different point spreads during March based on the action that they need. Right?
Mhm.
John Murray told me.
Benson said it perfectly.
Yeah. Well, with Connecticut. But John Murray told me how bad they needed K-State to win. And I'm going, but 90% of the tickets are on K-State. He goes, it doesn't matter because of the way that we book the futures market, we kind of handcuffed ourselves here with FAU.
Yeah.
We need it bad.
They'll
Currently,
take the
right
small
now,
loss, but the bigger loss would be the FAU.
there's
payout.
only 1-6 out there, and it's at Heritage. Everything else is 5.5. I know that, again, your local guy up in the Northeast has a
Right.
6. I can see that.
He's probably taking
But-
a bunch of UConn money.
Jeff, I need you to go look at the Wager Talk odds screen, the best free odds screen on the planet, 5.5.
Kellen, everyone's been talking about how it's all UConn. Everyone's on UConn. This, I know so many people, both sharp and like shitty, that are on Miami. Like there have been there's
The entire hustle pod just agreed. We all lean Miami at
well,
least.
that's what I'm saying. Look, and there goes the sharp people I'm talking about. But like I know a bunch of people on Miami, and the splits aren't nearly as bad as people think they are. I'm seeing 60. What a lot of places are showing between like
Anybody you like to fade on
58
Miami?
and 62% of the money is on UConn. It's not like the K-State.
Why don't we just
split.
ask Dennis who he likes?
I hope he likes
Ride
UConn.
him, right? And
I
we're
hope
gonna
he likes
ride him.
UConn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe's like, fuck it. Ride the fire.
I hope he likes UConn. I really do.
So I'm with Kelly. I'm trying to find a reason to go to the window with Miami. But Kel, I'd be interested then to see your take on. I think that there's like a 90% chance or greater that you'll get Miami plus double digits live sometime in the game. Like that's what's holding me off is the thought that, and we talked after the first round, we talked about how UConn came out. They were super slow and we hammered UConn first half against Arkansas.
Yep.
And that came through huge because we're like, they can't happen again. I don't want to be prisoner of the moment to think that passes what's going to happen, but when you're already a 5.5 dog, it doesn't take but getting down by like more than 7 or 8.
You're absolutely right.
To get double digits live. And
But here's my one caveat and why I didn't do it versus Texas, because the way they played against Houston was so prolific. That was the best game they played all year. I was right there with CT, with Trig at the Viva event in Hoboken, and CT loved Houston. And I'm like, God, the last thing I want to do is be fighting with him. Like, I don't love Miami.
But I came out on the Houston one and I took Miami. I was the only one that took Miami when we came out, and I sat there and
I just there just wasn't in-game opportunities, and sometimes there just isn't, and that's my problem with in-game betting. Sure, you can try to will it into existence. It doesn't mean you're going to get a better line.
But
of course you weren't getting an opportunity. Miami blew them the fuck out.
But you did.
But what are you going to do if okay? So let's just say Miami gets up, goes on a 15-0 run, like we've seen them do.
Yep.
I'm not going to find an in-game opportunity. So if I want to bet this game, it's either at halftime because they're down big. Will they be? There's a lot to.
I get
agree.
that, but that's what I said. I think there's a 90%. I think my thought is the way I say this going, there's going to be a 90% chance you're going to get double digits, and I'm not sure like Kel, because at halftime of that Miami Houston game, the live line was Houston minus 133 for
We
Houston
talked
to
about
win
it.
the game. We talked about it. We were texting back and forth. Now I think a lot of that was predicated. I think Kmart asked like how, and I said, remember what Houston did against Auburn? Like people are being a little prisoner of the moment. But I don't think that the way UConn has played, I don't know like to what extent does Miami have to get up to where the live in game becomes a pick-em. Like if it's 8-10 points like in the first half, like I want to say it's still a pick-em at that point. And I don't see it happening. Again, I think there's a 90% chance at some point, because for everything that Joey just said, which is I think Miami's going to be shocked by this size. I think they were shocked by Texas' size.
They're definitely small compared to
Yeah.
UConn. I mean, that's not going to be up for debate.
There's going to be something. I think
know,
you're going to get. You're going to get 10
Pack
points
has
at
looked
some
really
point.
good. Isaiah Wong has looked really good.
They're filthy.
And
They're absolutely filthy.
that's my concern here.
And Larinaga, the only coach to be in the Final Four, it was with George Mason years ago. Real quick, it was kind of interesting. George Mason beat UConn in the Elite Eight in overtime to go to the Final Four. But Larinaga's the only guy that's been here before.
I'll tell you what, though, these runs that this Miami team has put up, like, does scare. UConn is vulnerable based on their turnovers, like Kelly said before. This UConn team gives up runs. They do. Arkansas in that second half went on a 14-0 run and cut it to 20. Remember? When they went on a 14-0 run to cut it to 20. Like, Miami is capable of doing the same thing. Miami could go on a 12-0 run in 2 minutes. And you know what I mean? That does worry me a little bit, but I'm sticking to my guns here. Sonogo murders them.
The fouls is the other thing. If Miami says, fuck it, we're not shooting threes, and they go in and they can get – we saw that happen with the biggest thing people bitched about in that Texas game was Miami just decided we're not going to shoot a three-pointer. We are going to the basket every single drive. We've seen it. Miami was so much faster than Houston. If Miami just decides we're going to the basket every single time, depending on how the refs end up calling this game, that's where I think that's the only chance.
I think you're absolutely right.
If you're tight
on their free throws.
and
Miami's one of the top free throw shooting teams. Yeah.
If the refs are going to call these
that concerns
fouls,
me.
That could be a problem.
They are going to draw fouls.
They will draw fouls. 23 fouls Texas had against Miami, and a lot of people left that Texas game bitching because, and again, Miami was down. They just decided we're not going to shoot a three to get back in this. That's not how we're getting back in. We're going to drive to the basket every single time. We're going to make the refs put it at the line. I think if they play that same way, because they can get you saw their speed against Houston, they can get to the basket. If they can get to the basket against Houston, they can get to the basket against anybody.
That's the only thing I'm afraid of too for the total. Like we saw them, the SDSU Creighton referees. I know someone said that they're not even close to the bonus in the first half. It's like you love that. That's how you get unders. And the other games just boop, boop, boop. Every 5 seconds they're calling a check. They're calling. It's like I'm not my unders toast because they're shooting fucking 50 free throws. So it's like I want to take under in this game, but I'm like if these zebras are going to be whistle happy, it just kills it.
I'm hoping Jackson gets to check Wong in this spot because his length will stop Wong from doing what he's been doing in this tournament. I just can't wait. This is going to be such a good game. I mean, obviously it can clearly go both ways, but
got a minute left. Anyone have anything left real quick?
Miami sucks.
There you go. Just let Joey just like that. There you go. Mic drop.
I will throw out.
You already booked -5.5.
Talking to me?
Yeah. No,
I have not bet anything yet on this game because my future is so low.
Shouldn't. You should just ride your future. You're sitting in a really great spot. You heard Chris say Kenny White's numbers. You guys are going to be like 6.5 point favorites.
Yeah,
over
that's
FAU.
The only reason why I haven't gotten to the window yet.
San Diego State.
Yeah, my ticket's substantial, as all you guys know. So I'm probably going to put something on it just because I'll be watching it live at the casino. But yeah, definitely not going to put substantial money on it at this point.
Yeah, same. Real quick, NIT championship tomorrow. I got North Texas. I took them
I
plus
do
2.
too. Let's go, Kmart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's tremendous line value. They went 2-0 regular season, lost in the conference. Everyone remembers that because it was the last thing to happen. So here we are, plus 2. I heard Trick say it's probably going to go to 3. Maybe, hopefully, I'll do a little more if it does. Why not? Because it's probably going to be a close game. But yeah, go Mean Green. And
Mean Green.
that's
Good.
it. 15 seconds long. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you, Kelly.
Will be
Love you
back
guys.
for
Love you.
Love you.
a recap on Sunday or maybe Saturday. We'll find out.
Over under Margaret.